Welcome to a very special New Jersey Now. I'm Brenda Blackman. Fireworks are a 4th of July staple, but they can also be dangerous if they're mishandled, especially for children. But there's no need to stay away from celebrating as long as you know how to be safe. With me now to talk about fireworks safety is Diana Starace, who is the coordinator of both Safe Kids Middlesex County and the Level 1 Trauma Center at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
What's the biggest misconception about fireworks and whether or not they're legal or illegal and all about their uses?
Well, in New Jersey, they are illegal. You are not supposed to have fireworks in your possession, nor are you allowed to go across state lines and buy them and bring them back into the state. But we know that a lot of families do have fireworks, especially around this time of year. We encourage families really to go to a public display in their community where there are professionals dealing with those fireworks who know how to handle them safely.
How many firework injuries do you actually see during the year?
The United States Fire Association predicts that there's about 9,000 annually, and about 40% of those happen to children under 15 years old. So that's a lot.
Do you see an increase during the summer?
Between mid-June to mid-July is when we see the majority of them, yes.
And do you think people underestimate the dangers? That's the reason for perhaps the increase in injuries?
They do. I think that, especially when it comes to things like sparklers, you know, parents think those are innocuous and they're not going to hurt.
Just cute.
Right, exactly. But they do, in fact, get up to about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which can melt metal. So obviously they're hot, and a child doesn't really understand the danger of them. So not only can they end up with a burn, but clothing can catch on fire, sparkles can go in their eyes, things like that can happen. So it's very dangerous.
Are there precautions you need to take even if you're going to a professional fireworks show?
I think just to be aware that there may be debris in the air, that type of thing. You know, position yourself upwind as opposed to downwind. And if you are going to use fireworks in your home, you want to use them if they're legal, and also to make sure you've got a bucket of water or a fire extinguisher that you know how to use, and keep kids away from them.
So those are some of the safe ways to actually enjoy them.
Right, exactly.
What's the most serious injuries that can result from mishandling fireworks?
Burns mostly. All right, that's definitely primary. We had a young boy come in the hospital last summer who had burns to his legs from fireworks, and the parents basically weren't watching, so they allowed him to do that, and not severe enough to be admitted, but certainly I'm sure he thought it was a big injury, and so did the parents. So that's probably the most. Then we see things like contusions to the face, injuries to the eye, and depending upon how strong those fireworks are, you can certainly end up losing fingers if they explode when they're not supposed to.
Other summer activities that can cause injuries that we need to have in mind?
We're all out in, you know, doing all those activities we love to do during summer. So I'd say probably the most important to think about is water safety. You really
and that brings about the most serious injuries, I'll bet.
Well, unfortunately, when kids drown, they don't usually recover, so we don't get to see them. But we want to prevent those things from ever happening. So most importantly is to make sure that there's active adult supervision when kids are in water. Someone's always watching, and that kids and parents know how to swim. That's really key to helping prevent those things from happening in the first place.
And keeping kids safe, it is really a priority. And what's the main thing we can do to keep kids safe this summer?
Watch your kids. Be with them. Do the activities with them. Know where they are. Know that they have a helmet on their head. Know that they know how to cross the street properly. Know that if they're by the water, they know how to swim, and that there is somebody watching them.
Okay, good advice. Thank you so very much for joining us. If you have ideas about topics you'd like to see discussed, please log on to my9tv.com and click on Public Affairs. We want to hear from you. That's all for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us. For My9, I'm Brenda Blackman, wishing you and your family a very happy and healthy 4th of July. And we'll see you next week on New Jersey Now.